Good people of Lagos, Africa and the world, welcome to Moments of Inspiration, brought to you by the Anglican Diocese of Lagos Mainland on this first Sunday in Epiphany. Epiphany Day being last week, Monday, January 6th. So we're in the season of Epiphany, the revelation of Christ to the Gentiles, celebrating the visit and the worship of the Magi, and that greater revelation and greater glory revealed through Christ's birth, Christ for all nations, teaching, ministry, miracles, healings, trial, mockery of a trial, death, resurrection, and then ascension. So we're still in the early seasons of the liturgy of the church calendar, and along with the secular New Year, we say Happy New Year. Without much further ado, I shall list the hymns, the music on the playlist today, after which we shall go into a brief history of each one of them, and then we shall have the music, the hymns themselves, and the psalm. So on our playlist for today, we have Sing Alleluia Forth in Duteous Praise, Songs of Thankfulness and Praise, Brightest and Best of the Sons of the Morning, The People That in Darkness Sat, As with Gladness Men of Old, and Psalm 29. Before we have the hymns played, I shall go into a brief history of each one of them, at least touching upon each one. Our first hymn, Sing Alleluia Forth in Duteous Praise, is an Epiphany hymn, but it's also general. Sing Alleluia Forth in Duteous Praise, the Latin originally anonymous, translated by John Ellerton, 1826 to 1893. This is a translation by Ellerton of part of a hymn of 9 stanzas beginning Alleluia Pes Edite Laudibus, popular in the 10th and 11th centuries, companion to hymnal 40, page 341, where the Latin text is printed. This hymn derives from the Roman liturgy, preserved in a series of 11th century manuscripts, commonly misnamed the Mozarabic Breviary. It was Ellerton's first hymn apart from those which he had written for children. It was published in the Churchman's Family Magazine, April 1865, with an explanatory note. Alleluia was discontinued from Septuagesima, or from Lent to Easter. That refers to the burst of Alleluias that resounds as soon as we enter the Easter season. It has the hymns with the most Hallelujahs and Alleluias, followed by the Christmas season, and we have good just cause to sing Alleluia. Hymn to life, new life to give, in anticipation of that new heaven and new earth. Sing Alleluia Forth in Duteous Praise. Next, we shall have a brief history, a few words about songs of thankfulness and praise. Firmly an Epiphany hymn, not just general, but very Epiphany. The songs of thankfulness and praise. Father, unto thee we raise. It is tracing the trajectory of the life of Jesus Christ. Again, from birth to the miracle, the first recorded miracle, turning water into wine in Cana in Galilee, through the teachings, miracles, to that epochal event of the cross, and then subsequent resurrection and ascension. Songs of thankfulness and praise. Jesus, Lord, to thee we raise, manifested by the star to the sages from afar. Branch of royal David's stem, in thy birth at Bethlehem. Anthems be to thee addressed, God in man made manifest. And that is how every line ends, God in man made manifest. Every verse, the last line of every verse. Manifest at Jordan's stream, prophets, priests, and king supreme. And at Cana, wedding guest, in thy Godhead manifest. Manifest in power divine, changing water into wine. Anthems be to thee addressed, God in man made manifest. Manifest in making whole palsied limbs and fainting soul. Manifest in valiant fight, quelling all the devil's might. Manifest in gracious will, ever bringing good from ill. Anthems be to thee addressed, God in man made manifest. Christopher Wordsworth, 1807 to 1885, was the son of a scholar and the nephew of a famous poet, William Wordsworth. Like his father and his uncle, Christopher was intellectual and creative. As a young man, he became a school headmaster, church vicar, and eventually a bishop in the Church of England. Even though he was very knowledgeable of the Bible and wrote various commentaries, he also wrote more than 100 hymns and had a strong poetic nature. He tried to combine teaching and poetry in his hymns so people could learn about God as they sang songs of praise. This hymn has the theme of thankfulness, obviously, which is the theme of our lives at this time, at the season of Epiphany. Manifest all round. Manifest in grace, in power, in majesty. God in man made manifest. And next we have brightest and best of the sons of the morning, which is a very popular Epiphany hymn that has been sung to several tunes. And there's 4 well-known popular tunes for this. Brightest and best of the sons of the morning, dawn on our darkness and lend us thine aid. Star of the east, thy horizon adorning, dawn where our infant Redeemer is laid. And after brightest and best, we also have a history of the people that in darkness sat. Brightest and best of the sons of the morning, written by Reginald Heber, is the author of the words, 1783 to 1826. Reginald Heber wrote the hymn in 1811 while serving as a minister in Hotnet, England. Heber was an Anglican bishop and a romantic hymn writer. Heber wrote the hymn to be sung at the Feast of Epiphany. He was trying to improve hymn singing in his congregation and to create a hymnal with hymns for every Sunday of the liturgical year. The hymn was first published in the Christian Observer in November 1811. It was later published in Heber's widow's collection of hymns, written and adapted to the weekly service of the church year. Hymns written and adapted to the weekly service of the church year in 1827. I talked about the tunes. The hymn can be sung to a number of tunes, including Lipstar Emmanuel, Morning Star, Epiphany, and Star in the East. The most commonly used tune is Star of Light, composed by James P. Hardin in 1892. Da 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 da. The hymn has been translated into French and German. And next now, we also have a brief history of the hymn As with Gladness Men of Old. Another Epiphany hymn, written by William Chatterton Dix. He wrote the hymn on January 6, 1859, on his sick bed, while sick in bed. He was inspired by the story of the wise men in the Bible's Gospel according to St. Matthew, chapter 1, verses 1 to 11. Matthew chapter 2, verses 1 to 11. The hymn was first published in Hymns of Love and Joy in 1861. It was also published in Hymns Ancient and Modern in 1861 and H. Wood's Hymns for Public Worship and Private Devotion in 1860. Conrad Kutcher wrote the original tune in 1838, and William Henry Monk wrote another well-known tune, adapted it in his own tune in 1861. The tune is the same as the one used in The Beauty of the Earth. The author, Dix, was a prolific hymn writer, very prolific, who was born in Bristol, England in 1837 and died in Cheddar, Somerset, England in 1898. He was a high church Anglican who managed a marine insurance company in Glasgow, Scotland. The hymn compares the journey of the wise men to the Christian pilgrimage. The stanzas use the pattern, as they, so may we. The hymn's message is that adversities can sometimes be blessings with God's help. Adversities, trials can oftentimes be blessings. He is able to make everything beautiful in his time. And also, of course, makes all things work together for good to them that love him and are called according to his purpose and election. And so, this is a hymn that celebrates us as more than conquerors, indeed. And now for the psalm. A few words about Psalm 29. A very old psalm, one of the oldest. The history of Psalm 29 is complex and includes multiple theories about its origin, author, and intended context. Some scholars believe Psalm 29 was originally a Canaanite hymn to the storm god Baal. Others think it was written by a worship leader at an Israelite worship center. Authorship. Few scholars believe David wrote Psalm 29, though it may be an early piece. Some believe Psalm 29 was written during a storm and was appropriate for a festival celebrating Yahweh's glory or kingship, enthroned in majesty. Others believe it was written to remind people of God's sovereignty over creation, over his whole creation, and to invoke cosmic humility. The Lord is in his holy temple. Let's all stand in awe before him. Some scholars believe Psalm 29 was written between 545 and 333 BC. Others believe it may be as early as the 12th century BC, making it one of the oldest parts of the Hebrew Bible. Psalm 29 is an example of an enthronement psalm, which describes the supreme deity taking his place of rulership and ownership. It's a praise psalm, but its structure and content are unique. The opening two verses serve as a call to worship, creatively constructed. So now, having said a few words about all the hymns and the psalm on the playlist for today, we shall commence the actual play. And we shall have, again, let me remind us, sing Alleluia forth in duteous praise, songs of thankfulness and praise, brightest and best of the sons of the morning, the people that in darkness sat, as with gladness men of old. In Psalm 29. Enjoy.